The Asset Planet Pro Trading Tools isn't just for stocks, mutual funds, and ETFs, but also bonds. So let's open up one of our two programs, starting with Buy Up Bonds. Previously saved default folders for importing client restrictions and where the files are going to pull from Schwab, all the data that's been previously covered in tutorials called Basics. You see here we have a CUSIP. That definitely looks different than what an ETF or a mutual fund symbol would be. In this case, it's going to be a buy-up bond. Even if you don't have a bond already listed, meaning you don't already own it, it's a new position. Make sure you download a positions page because our program always needs a cross-reference against the balances, how much cash, and positions, 0 or more. After we have all the data, we hit our magic after downloading from Schwab blue button. Now this is all using dummy fake accounts, separate video for test samples. But what do we see? First is our tab for percentages. We're going to make this a 2% restriction, and what we see is we have a violation on a particular account that'll show up here, cross-referencing. This particular client wants to have more cash. Covered in separate videos about restrictions and how to deal with this. But if you didn't have enough cash, in this case, this is 1.95. Miss Benton will be deleted on the next run, which is delete short cash, and it'll also delete restrictions. So those two counts go away. And now we're ready for step 3. So now we're on symbol and export step 3. The green cells up here represent things that have already been imported automatically, including the CUSIP number. But the price might be old. It could be taken from old data. So let's update. As we always encourage all our users, right before trade update, that bond is now $99.35 on the dollar. Professionals know that bonds price out on 100 cents par versus 1,000. And we're going to buy 3% of an account. We've also predefined round down and round up. Show you how that works. You'll quickly see client says short. Next step we'll explain how we could change that, or we could rerun it, and many accounts are down. If you do change here, you have to rerun and let the macro do its work. In this case, round down. All right. Let's go to the next stage, which is going to export to cash levels. We're big believers in cash levels. We're going to remove anything with $500 or less. Okay, we could keep on raising that. Let's say $1,000. And here's the importance. With bonds, there's also accrued interest. And with accrued interest, you could be short if you try to buy to the last penny. Hopefully future versions will include this extra feature for accrued and with the support of all our users. But for right now, what can you do to manually change? Well, let's show you. Cash required in this first one is $12,916, and we are so close. What if we just bought $11,000 worth of bonds? All of a sudden, they could afford to buy it. And the same thing with the next person. Now, these are all fake accounts. This is part of your test samples that you get as a user. It gives you the ability to practice, but this is exactly how a user would go through to manually adjust. Now, if there was hundreds or thousands of accounts, you want to set your parameters a little bit tighter so the program does most of the work. This is for individual tweaking, individual selection, fine-tuning, whatever phrase you want to use. Once you're satisfied, well, we're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts that can't come through out of 22 lines. So this program will be triggered to automatically make sure you have enough cash, and a warning comes up. We're going to click OK. That was our last chance to adjust. And now we're ready to output 5, and we have a lot less accounts. What came over? Share price, symbol, and total quantity. In case this is about 227 bonds, we're buying it at a discount, so it's not 227,000, it's 225,000 plus whatever accrued interest. Now, as a professional bond trader, you would want to export this to block trade or individual allocation. I highly suggest that bond trades be done in a master and then allocated as a block trade using the master. Schwab does an excellent job of creating this import file that we've matched up to. So you'll learn about export to block trade, export to individual allocation, as well as compliance in separate videos. But right now, this was buy up bonds. Sister video, trim down bonds.